Notice some more chalk artwork. Just gonna head over to the Salmon Street meetup, but I'm not sure. We'll go check it out and see. Stopped by the Injustice Center on our way over to the fountain. There's supposed to be a, I think, meet up at the fountain. I'm gonna check it out. I forgot what it's called. Notice there is some type of barbecue on the corner. I'm not sure who's doing it. We can walk by there and see that as well. Saw flowers on the fence. T-shirt sales. And for those that don't know, this grass used to be grass, but between all the tear gas and all the other chemicals, things that have gone on, afraid to bring my camera back down here. I have it, but after the feds grabbed me and broke my first lens. Yeah, they drugged me in the courthouse.
I fucking shot my phone out of my hand on Wednesday.
Yeah, I noticed I have paint markings all over. I'm like, this doesn't end.
Is that just the beginning? Yeah, what's it been like? I came in for Pittsburgh on Wednesday.
Oh, so up until yesterday, I mean, the feds would be out every night, shooting 5-6 blocks up and out. But yesterday, I was just always peaceful and.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a nice little block party.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like my first couple hours here Wednesday night. It was like I was documented nothing but unprovoked fucking aggression, man.
Yeah, there was a lady from Zuma Press who had just got here from Bakersfield. She literally had just stepped out of her car holding up her press pass and they gassed the snot out of her. So.
You think they're really gone? Or you think
Oh no, they're not gone. They're there. They're just waiting. Yeah, no, they're not gone at all. In fact, when I was driving down here, there was some New Mexico plated marshals pulling in. So there's supposed to be something going on down at the fountain right now. So I'm gonna go check that out. But you too. See, we have another barbecue setup going on. Just talking to some press from Pittsburgh. And I do have a new gimbal, but I, for the life of me, cannot get it to sync to my phone. So sorry if my stream is shaky. So they have went through and painted the walls black instead of leaving up the different artwork that was out here. People have added our block stickers on there. These are about the different Portland police.
2010. And they're on
Mr. Kruger is not retired. Just gonna take you guys on a little walk down to the fountain and see if there's anything going on there. If not, then I'll be back up here. Some of the artwork. So for those just tuning in, I'm walking down to the fountain because they're supposed to meet up down here. So quite a few people have said the Justice Center is very quiet. I think that's because everybody's down here.
I need to pay the rent. And 2 months. 2 months together. It's not easy. It's almost 600 of the roof for me. You know, it's not a big house, or, you know, it's a small room. And I understand a lot of people about this situation, and I don't understand either about how's the justice with people like me, black people. All the time, when I wake up in the morning, and my mind is, probably this day be different. And I was happy, you know, in the morning, and go to the corner, and probably get a job for the day, but nothing happened. Day by day, no coming the contractors, the people they support the center, and I feel something bad. And not only for me, it's for all the people, man. It's for all the people. When this guy told me, you want to speak from the older audience, from the older people, and I say, yeah, but I feel a little nervous because it's my first time too. But you guys making me feel comfortable. Thank you. You know what? Portland is the best city. It's the best city, Portland. The best people. And everything they need together. Work together and stay together in this kind of problems, man. It's hard, I know. And the last thing I want to say today in this place, the Black Lives Matter.
Hi folks, I also wanted to share some testimony from other workers who didn't feel safe or comfortable coming out, but also want to share their stories and their voices and their experiences being in a pandemic and in a crisis, being in a racial justice crisis as well, fighting for black liberation. So let me go ahead and speak for the workers themselves. So the first testimony that I'm going to share with y'all comes from one of our black day laborers, whose name is Bernard, and so here it goes. There will never be true fairness because when it comes down to the economy, the whole country is an economic situation influenced by the pandemic. The African American people are still basically in the same situation. The pandemic worsens the situation because it brings the racism and discrimination to the forefront that can't get pushed back, pushed down, pushed to the side, swept under the rug, or brushed off. This is something you have to face now because protesters consistently are demonstrating how they are angered at the lack of support that our leaders keep saying, be patient, it takes time. It's 2020. These economic issues have always been here in this country, along with all other issues that have separated and divided us. Boss, we are presently going through the same situation that everyone else is. We're holding it down. We're trying to stay focused, continue to do what we're doing for our families and for ourselves. It's hard times for all of us. It isn't getting any easier. Tomorrow feels like it will be the same as yesterday. Where's the suffering and despair for some people? There will be opportunity coming up because of the pandemic. I want to get involved. That's why I'm putting myself on the line. We're putting ourselves on the line. What I want to say to Oregonians right now is that you have the opportunity to help less fortunate people during the pandemic by hiring laborers at the MLK Junior Worker Center. When you hire us, you're giving us the opportunity to do something for ourselves, for our families, without becoming dependent on anyone else. We're doing a service for the community as laborers. Thank you to Bernard for that testimony. Now I'm going to be sharing another testimony from Gilberto. He is a Cuban immigrant and also a black day laborer at Bolt. My name is Gilberto. I'm Cuban, I'm black, and I'm new in this town. I hope that the situation here in Portland gets resolved. I hope that there are improvements for black people and that the protests continue happening. That has been built, has not torn it down. When you protest, you're supporting us as day laborers. I wish for understanding between the people and the police. I've been impacted by the crisis because there is little work and we have not received any unemployment benefits. Next, I want to share a testimony from Andres. We are part of the minority. We are unsalaried workers. We are protesting here today to ask the authorities to support us by connecting us with work and with stimulus funds. In this crisis, we don't receive any kind of support. Hardly anyone listens to day laborers. We wait for work every single day, and sometimes go home empty-handed. We want our voice to be heard. We are protesting peacefully, and we ask the community to help carry our voice onward so that it is heard. We want to point out that we can't risk showing up in person to protest because it puts us at risk because of our immigration status, in addition to the risk of police brutality. And the last testimony I want to share for tonight is from Efraim Pablo. For me, the United States is the promised land, and I wish there was peace among all people. When I see shirts that say Black Lives Matter, I think of my own family because I have black relatives. If we could all be one family, it would be like a paradise. As a day laborer, the crisis has really affected me. The government has not supported me, and I have not received anything since May. But I don't lose hope. Thank God I have been hired for some jobs, but I have a heart condition, and being a laborer and doing heavy work puts me at risk of a heart attack. I don't have health insurance. I have to pay for everything myself. We are part of the community. As day laborers, we're volunteers and giving back. I want to say to the people of Portland, trust us, hire us. Sometimes you think we are bad just because we are Mexican. Others don't hire us because we don't speak English. But we have families, and I'm here to work to support my family. So I want to thank everyone for coming out, listening to the voices of day laborers who are often unheard or ignored. Thank you for listening. Always continue fighting for Black liberation, solidarity with all workers across industries. Every worker we see out here in the crowd, you can count on us as both. Thank you.
Gracias, Edgar Italia. Up next, folks, we have another member from the UWC. Trinity, would you please come up?
Hello, I'm Trinity, and I'm lost my job during COVID-19, I'm flabbergasted at how the government is letting down people like me. I'm a hard worker, and I love my job before the pandemic. I finally felt like I had made it. I have also been watching the city for the past month and feeling scared and sad for everyone in the Black Lives Matter movement and what they have been going through. I was raised that police were good people and that they are here to help you, but in the last few months, I've seen with my own eyes people I know have been tear gas, shot with rubber bullets, and my perceptions have changed. I've even been tear gassed myself. I am disgusted by the racism of the government towards people of color, indigenous communities, and undocumented people, both in the violence of the police and the benefit systems that exclude and impoverish them. I joined the Unemployed Workers Council because I'm tired of sitting at home complaining that something should be done. I'm new to activism, and I'm thankful to have such amazing friends in the UWC to help me learn and build momentum. I feel like it's now my job to work to make change for everyone. There are so many people like me. We are unemployed, but we still have agency, and we still have power to make our voices heard. Join us at Unemployed Workers Council PX to help make a difference for those who are unemployed and feel like they cannot speak out. Or you can join a union to protect workers' rights, donate to organizations like Clause Workers' Rights Project, and get involved with the Black Lives Matter movement. Because racial justice is also economic justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katie. We have another member of the UWC who's going to come up and read our full statement for you folks so you have a better idea of who we are and where we stand.
Hey all, good evening. So I have some news for you. We're in a global pandemic, and all jokes or humor aside, despite the knowledge of public health that exists across this country, something that I and so many of you I'm sure found disturbing is how racialized inequalities and inequalities generally continue to grow exponentially. And so we're here to ask you, what is it that care would actually look like? We believe that care looks like meeting people's needs in a way that allows them to stay safe and to stay home, and providing free and easy access and safe shelter for those who have already been rendered homeless and houseless. Care looks like canceling bills and issuing rent moratoriums now. Care looks like healthcare and housing, especially the Black and Indigenous communities who have consistently been marginalized and faced violence even before this pandemic. And here, instead, is what has been offered as care. Pandemic unemployment assistance and a paycheck protection program that has consistently failed to support Black and Indigenous communities and people in general. The PUA expired today, and we know that already a full 90% of BIPOC-owned businesses were unable to access PPP funds. And the support that the federal government said it was extending has instead and again increased wealth and income gaps. And these are all deeply racialized and how it affected folks. And we also know that countless folks, like Albert said, like others have said, are at serious risk of losing their housing. In Oregon, an eviction moratorium, not rent moratorium, just an eviction moratorium, has been extended for another 3 months, but this just kicks the can down the road. And we know that without canceling rent, Oregon's landlord legislature is just prolonging an inevitable wave of violent evictions. Elected officials have to make a commitment now to allowing community members to stay home and to stay housed. Right? Some of you might know about CAT, Coalition of Community Alliance of Tenants, and so I encourage you to check them out. So government at every level tells us that they don't care about us. What they care about is the survival of racist, exploitative capitalism. And if the federal government and the state government truly cared, they would extend PUA until further notice and provide people all of their back pay immediately. For folks who can't access unemployment or who do not feel safe going back to work, even if their job isn't available. Provide a monthly stipend that's commensurate to unemployment benefits. Don't act like that keeps people from working or it makes them make weak choices. These are social care and social benefits. Cancel rent and mortgages until further notice. Provide free PPE and free COVID testing. Provide free and easy access to safe shelter. And provide universal health care.
Test.
COVID prevention, y'all. So on behalf, actually, I'm short. I'm coming. On behalf of Asian Bloc, I want to introduce to us my mentor, an elder, and my hero, Eric. I also want to take a brief moment to pay homage and honor to the late Rep. John Lewis. John Lewis was arrested 22 times. At the age of 86 years old, he said he would do it again. The last time that President Barack Obama spoke to John Lewis in a Zoom call with BLM activists who are Gen Z like me, Obama said to John Lewis, looking at these Gen Z babies, these are your children. Irregardless of race, these are your children. And so we remember that our roots go deep. We remember those who have paved the paths of justice before us. I want to introduce to us Eric, who is a community activist and coach. He led Benson High School all-black girls basketball team to win the first ever state championship in Oregon. So without further ado, here's Eric.
Good evening. Yes, I'm a proud basketball coach at Benson High School. All you Benson is. And yes, I am proud to say that 2 years ago, our girls ended up winning the state championship at the highest classification. First in the state's history, an all-black girls basketball team did it. And I want to shout out, they're not here tonight, but they inspired me. This is my second time at the protest. But Mackenzie Porter, one of my players that's been here just about every night, standing in solidarity, protesting, amplifying her voice. Anna Brown, who has been catching a bus all the way from East Side here, leaving at like 1 in the morning because she wants her voice to be heard and to participate in something bigger than herself. And then Araya Boyd, she's been on a number of media channels, really getting after it, and I'm so proud of her. She plays with me. She's on my team now, and actually is quiet as a mouse, believe it or not. And one day I was watching the news, and she was going off about Black Lives Matter, and I almost spit my coffee out of my mouth. Because I was like, is that Araya Boyd? It was. But let me just tell you something. I do not subscribe to a low bar expectation for black kids. I have never subscribed to a low bar expectation of black kids. And we have always felt that our life and how we did our work was such a protest. And one of the things that's interesting about our girls is that everything that drove that championship season has a lot to do with what we're doing today. What drove us was hip-hop. And when I say hip-hop, I'm not talking about the aesthetics of hip-hop. I'm not talking about your favorite rapper. I'm not talking about your favorite lyric. I'm not talking about even the fashion of hip-hop, even though I love all that. I'm a child of hip-hop. I remember the first hip-hop song that came through my radio growing up in South Central LA. Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, but what makes hip-hop so interesting and how it plays a strong role in the work that we're trying to do here tonight is that there's a philosophy to it. There's a window into it that I really believe will help frame how we do our work and how we continue to do our work here. And it's not less than these four, but I want to hit four. And then I want to read something that I wrote for the protest. 4 things about hip-hop that shape how we do a protest. The first one is keeping it real. For my kids, they call it keeping it 100. Keeping it real was about being true. Don't rap about something that you haven't truly experienced. Don't talk about wielding guns and gang banging if you live in a suburb behind a white picket fence with an intact family. To keep it real means whatever you subscribe to, that's true to your own experience. And one of the reasons why we're here tonight is because we know what's going on in our country. We know the statistics about black life. We know in healthcare. We know in employment. We know in housing. We know that white folks are at the top and black folks are at the bottom. And there's a lot of intersectionality to that. But the one thing that connects all of that is the subject of race, is the subject of black lives. And so one of the things that I'm appreciative about this movement is that I really feel like a lot of folks that weren't woke are woke now. And they see what's really going on. But most importantly, they're here to amplify their voice and to keep it real about the conditions that impact the kids that we serve, I serve, out in East Side. The other piece about hip-hop that I think is super important is keeping it G. Keeping it G means keeping it gangster. Okay? So keeping it real is about being true to your experience. Keeping it gangster is about being true to your essence. And one of the most important things that I love about black kids is that we don't apologize about anything. Yeah! Black kids are blunt, their voices are powerful, they're creative, and they're effective. And they're doing incredible work in this city that oftentimes does not get publicized. And I want you to know, after the protest is over, when all of this dies down, do not get it twisted. The people that are going to have the most to pay is going to be the black community. We don't get to check out of this work. It is part of our work. We were born in this work, and this work never leaves us. But I'm committed to not just building a society that honors black lives now, and we may not ever get there this side. But I'm committed to building a world that I may never be a part of. I'm committed to that kind of work. So I'm always going to raise my voice. I'm always going to amplify my voice. I'm always going to tell my kids to never apologize about who they are. And to be as creative and as black as they want to be. Because we are a beautiful culture, and there's no flavor in this country without black folks. The third piece about hip-hop is this idea of being able to handle your haters. Got to be able to handle your haters. The beautiful piece about black folks, and I was watching this girl on YouTube, I forget her name, but she said, you know, America needs to be thankful that all we want is equality and not revenge. That's right. I can't think of a more loving, militant, brave people than black folks. The way we had to deal with 300 to 400 years of suffering in this country, and yet on the other side of it extend love and grace to other people. way we handle our haters. And all our girls understood that they got a lot of hate because they didn't look like your traditional state championship girls basketball team. They didn't play like the white girls. We didn't look like that team that walked into the arena like the white girls. We were a team from the city that had to deal with all the stigmas of being a black girl basketball team in the state, and we did it on a super high level. Why? Because we were able to handle our haters. We tackled it with love. The last but not final piece is being on your grind. Grinding is not about getting jewelry, going to the mall, and buying everything up. Grinding is not just going to college, getting a degree so that you can participate in this kind of work. That's our delayed gratification types of grind. The kind of grind that our kids were on is what we call grinding the grind. We grind because this is part of our life. We realize that we don't get to check out of this. And so protest is every aspect of our life. It's not just showing up to the waterfront. It's about what we do at the water cooler. It's about how we confront our brothers and sisters at Thanksgiving and Christmas to deconstruct racism and to be not sort of this middle ground racist, but to be an anti-racist. To be an anti-racist. So in closing, my prayer is that we get to the heart of the protest. And I wrote something called Getting to the Heart of the Protest, and it's really quick. It says this: prominent Trinidadian organizer and deceased civil rights activist Kwame Ture once wrote, "When white terrorists bomb a black church and kill 5 black children, that is an act of individual racism, widely deplored by most segments of society. But in that same city, Birmingham, Alabama, 500 black babies die each year because of the lack of proper food, shelter, and medical facilities, and thousands more are destroyed and maimed physically, emotionally, and intellectually because of conditions of poverty and discrimination in the black community. That is a function of institutional racism." I've been chewing on this quote for a good minute and thinking long and hard about what it means in the midst of all the social, racial unrest we are currently experiencing as a country. I love the distinction Ture sets forth and in describing and delineating the optics of individual and institutional racism. I would suggest that if anyone jumps into this current protest, knowing the difference between the two is key. The protest is not about ending interpersonal, internalized racial biases or merely developing strategies to end or confront racism through white affinity groups. Those are most certainly necessary and important strategies. But just know, this current protest is much bigger than any one individual uprooting their conscious or subconscious racism and biases. The true work of the protest is actually tackling the real threat to our society: institutional and structural racism. And anything that falls short of that betrays the efforts of the protest. How so? And shouldn't the efforts of ending personal and institutional racism be prioritized equally? And to that I say no. I believe, what seems to be historically true, that the transformation of racist and biased structures systematically create the conditions for people to change individually. This has been true throughout our nation's history, from the Civil War, Emancipation Proclamation, the Civil Rights Act, ending of Jim Crow, desegregating schools, and so on. All constructed or dismantled institutionally and systematically before people's hearts and minds changed en masse. We must understand that personal racism exists to justify the institutional racism that is already there. So when it comes to social justice and confronting unjust systems and institutions, we must be reminded that people change as institutions change, and to never flip that around.
Someone who goes by G, who's going to come up here and talk to us and give us a little bit of a Know Your Rights 101, which is very important considering who the police are and what they do. But before I hand the mic over, I just want to mention very quickly, the Socialists of Color Caucus of DSA is meeting tomorrow at 8 p.m. Please go on to Twitter and find their Twitter account, or you can go on to the Portland DSA website, and there's a very helpful calendar that will give you details on where to go online to find that meeting.
Can you say that again?
Yes, Socialists of Color, DSA Caucus, tomorrow, 8 p.m.
Right here. Right here.
Right here.
Okay, I am G. So, first off, I am an attorney, but I am not your attorney. This is legal information. This is not legal advice. Also, put your cameras down. Taking pictures of your comrades is super dangerous. Okay, there are three. Okay, so I'm going to do this super fast. If you want a more comprehensive one, get in contact with DSA. Louder? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to do this super fast. Normally these take quite a long time, but I'm going to go through it as fast as I can because we're going to get out there and go to town. Okay, 3 levels of interaction with the police. Casual questioning, detention, and arrest. Casual questioning is when they come up to you and say hi. What should you do in that circumstance? Don't talk to cops. Say it with me now. If you don't remember anything else from this, what do? Don't talk to cops! Thank you. That will make your life easier, and it will give your eventual attorney much less heartburn. Okay, if you are being detained, you'll know. How do you know? Ask if you're being detained. If they say you are not free to leave. If you are free to go, leave. Don't talk to cops. Okay, if they do not let you leave, you are going to do a few things. First, you are going to assert your right to not be searched. This is one of the only instances where silence does equal consent. I know. First, you say, I will not resist you, but I do not consent to this search or any other search. Why do we say I will not resist you? Because we know that the cops love to start screaming, stop resisting, as they're beating you in the face. I do not consent to this search or any other search. That's so they hopefully don't search you. They will search you because your rights don't matter to them. However, it is so that eventually your lawyer will be able to do something about it. Next, I want to see a lawyer. That's where people like me come in. We're not that fun, but we do have a purpose. Now, I want to remain silent. Okay, that is one of the most important ones. Don't talk to cops. And how do we do that? That's our Fifth Amendment right to stay silent, which basically means shut the hell up. The cops will try and get you to talk to them. Do not do that. Because guess what cops do? They lie. They can and will lie to you. Right. They will tell you, oh, your friends are snitching on you. They're not. They will tell you that you can go if you just help them out. They're lying. Cops can lie to you. They will to lie to you. You can't lie to cops, and if you do, you'll get in trouble. So what do we do? Stay silent and don't talk to cops. Great. And then, if you're arrested, you'll know because there will be very angry people throwing you in the back of the car and probably, doing things they shouldn't be doing. Okay. Quick thing, Oregon law does not require you to disclose your identification to cops. However, they can detain you until such time as your identification is ascertained. What that means is if the cop asks you for ID, you don't have to. Okay, let's see. Got that? I got that? What happens if you get arrested? First, you're going to be cuffed and put into custody. Cops only have to give you your Miranda rights before they question you, not immediately, which means you can be arrested and not Mirandized. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney present. Okay, everyone knows this from Law and Order, so I'm actually not going to go through the whole damn thing because it's really annoying. Okay, general reminders. Cops are like wild animals. They are very dangerous, especially when scared. Stay away from them. Don't get in their lunging distance because they're basically violent creatures. Okay, don't touch cops. Same principle. They react poorly to it because they are more scared of you than you are of them. If you run, get away. Running equals getting your ass beat, and in Oregon being charged with fleeing or attempting to elude, and it will also give the cops probable cause to detain you and arrest you. Freeze when the cops start shouting at you. Often they will shout things that are confusing and unintelligible. They do this for two reasons. One, to give them an excuse to use violence on you, and two, to drop more charges on you, such as disobeying a lawful order. If you are in front of a cop, move slowly. Once again, cops are like wild animals. You move slowly so they don't react violently. And you tell them what you're doing. Overall, that's what you do. So, don't talk to cops, keep silent, ask for a lawyer, don't consent to searches. Those are the basic tips, and also, don't post pictures of your comrades doing things.
Thank you very much, G. We have one more section to go, a very important section. Then we're going to be joining the march. We're going to be doing a gear giveaway if you folks want to stick around, and we can begin to march after that together.
Hi everyone. I know we went a little late, so we're going to do this real quick. My name is Evan. I'm with the Unemployed Workers Council. We're out here marching for Black Lives, and we also have been, we received some great donations of gear from Snack Block and from DSA. I want to have, Wade, if I could have you raise your hand. Wade, over here. Yep, okay. He's got some gear. If you are a black, brown, indigenous person, and you are going to be protesting, and you need a respirator, you need good goggles, if you needed something to cover up tattoos on your arms, we have gear for you. We would ask that you would just, for white folks, to not prioritize yourselves. We really want to make sure that the most marginalized among us are prioritized and have the right gear, okay? So we're doing that over there. Feel free to come by. We're going to be here for a few minutes after the march, but I'm going to pass it over to one of our march leaders. It's SpongeBob. Where are you, SpongeBob? SpongeBob. Yeah, they're on their way. But in the meantime, as she's coming up, whose lives matter? Black lives matter! Whose lives matter? Black lives matter! Whose lives matter? Black lives matter! Here we go. Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Whose lives matter? Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Is that whose lives matter? Black lives matter! I don't see nobody fist up. I said put your fist up!
me for the revolution? How? Put your hands up. This is the revolution. We are part of a revolution. The mob is watching Portland, Oregon, who is mostly white, stand behind all of us black, beautiful people.
Fuck black
For equality, for love, for unity. That's what we're about. We're not about hate. We're not about hate. You look at this crowd. This ain't nothing but fucking love. Love. We are blessed right now to be in a pandemic and still come together as a community. You let us know we are making this shit happen. This revolution is here. And we're not going back. We are woke. 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 Who's woke? 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 We are woke. We are woke. We will not go back to sleep. We will not go back to sleep. You're not gonna drug us this time. You're not gonna do it. The cat's out the bag, y'all ain't shit. The cat's out the bag, the government ain't shit. Cat's out the bag, that the government ain't shit. The cat's out the fucking bag, that the government ain't shit. So we gonna teach this motherfucking government that we are beautiful. We are here. We're united because Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter!
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 We are here as a community. Look at your fellow neighbors. And look at your woke community. Look at us. Ready to fight this till the end. We gonna fight till the wheels fall off. We gonna fight till we're all living in peace, walking down the street with reparations, baby. Free everything. Why do we have to pay for child care, education, food? We need our money to relax from this bullshit that we've been through for so many years. Therapy, love, that's what we need. That's what we need. Preparation, so we all can be equal. Who out here is ready to contribute to your reparation fund? Black every fucking night. Every night. Stay tight. Stay tight. Stay together. Stay tight. Stay tight. Stay together. Stay tight. Stay together. Stay tight. Stay together. Stay tight. Stay tight. Stay together. 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 Stay tight. Raise your hand up if you are here for the first time. Go and link up with someone who's been here. So find a partner. Everybody buddy up. That's what this is about.
If there are some de-escalators available, they might be needed.
There's a problem if we have some security here. If we have some security here. De-escalation over to by the river, please. It's for everyone's safety. Faith is, she works with us, and she's my sister, my queen. She's here to give you some momentum also, and give you some good notes to being woke and being a queen. Thank you, Faith.
Clap once if you can hear me. Clap twice if you can hear me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a story. Because if my story don't piss you the fuck off, then you ain't for Black Lives. I'm just going to put it out there. I got asked recently. You know what?
Louder.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Closer.
SpongeBob.
Testing.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about those technical difficulties. We're trying this again. Clap once. Can you hear me? Clap twice. Can you hear me? All right. So this story, if it doesn't get you pissed off, if it does not motivate you, if it does not recommit you to Black Lives Matter, baby, I'm pretty sure nothing will. So I got asked recently, when was my first experience with racism? Throw some numbers out. Any ideas? How old was I? 2? What else? Prenatal, okay. What else? She's correct. Prenatal. When my 17-year-old white mom told her daddy that she was pregnant, he said, "Oh, honey, I'm going to need you to choose your nigger baby or your family." And do you know, for 46 years, all I have heard is how my mama only kept me to piss her daddy off. So my first message about my father went something like this. You know, Faith, Daddy always said anybody darker than him was a nigger, and I better never bring one home. So I did him one better and got pregnant by one instead. This is why y'all are out here, because my life matters. What did I do? I hadn't even taken my first breath. They didn't know, was I smart? They didn't know, maybe I was going to come out with white skin. You don't know. But I was a nigger before I was ever born. And that's the shit that has us out here. That kind of mentality is what allows rules and systems to keep people like me oppressed. And I've had enough. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not asking for justice anymore. I'm not asking for equality. I'm fucking demanding. What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! When? Now! When? Now! When you guys think, or you guys sometimes doubt yourself and question whether or not the work you're out here doing matters, let me tell you, I see you, I love you, and I thank you. So when you're out here in these streets lifting your voices, I want you to think about me and how you can be my voice when I'm not there to do it for me. Let's get this shit done, y'all.
Everybody hold tight for a sec while we get ready to march, okay? Thank you. And again, for anyone black, brown, or indigenous, if you want to come over and get some gear, if you need gear, Wade over here has gear donated by lovely organizations. So come on over.
No, I'm very lucky. I have part-time work. You guys can't beat it.
No, yeah, but if you want to work on it,
Okay, well, I just gotta take these as a couple now. Okay, thanks, man.
That's right. We're all on one accord. We're in unity. Line up. Let's get ready to roll out. Come on, everybody, please.
Portland, make some noise! Yeah. Now this is the power I'm talking about. This is the power that I'm talking about. This is the magic that I'm talking about. This connection that we have, this bond that we have is amazing. This is the feeling of change. This is what change looks like. This is what it feels like, and this is what it smells like. So, can you feel it out there? Now we have to use it before we lose it. Portland, we got some cleaning up to do. We almost there. We got some cleaning up to do on all aspects. We got cleaning up in this house to do. We got cleaning up in some of these corporations to do. We got some work to do, but with these numbers, we can do whatever. We all know that Portland was considered a racist state. But I asked you yesterday, do y'all want that anymore? No! No more racist state? No! Are you sure? Yes! Are you sure? Yes! I can't hear that. Y'all sound... So no more racist state? No! That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Well, we're going to keep this moving on because this is what we do. And this is what I'm very, very proud to see. This is a Friday, I think. We've been out here for 60-odd days, and it's starting to feel like one. So, once again, let me hear you make some noise, Portland, before I pass this mic.
So in order for us to fully unite, we must make a pact with ourselves. In order for us to fully unite, we must make a pact with ourselves. Woo! We are together now, and we don't want to fall apart. So in order to do that, we must make a pact with ourselves. Each and every individual must dive within their self and make a pact to never ever be divided from the human race again. We must make a pact with ourselves. This is an individual choice. We've made the individual choice to show up here every night for 60-something days. And what brought on this party is the crucial and unusual murder of George Floyd. And how we know about that murder is because some children, some teenagers, took the time out of their day, after school or whatever time that was, to witness this brutal homicide by the police. Now what we must do is dive within ourselves and make a pact to never be divided again. Woo! Can we make that pact? Can we truthfully make and stand on that pact? And then after we truthfully made that pact, we must share that pact with the next human being and bring them to the party. So it can be a new political party. Because the old political party does not work. The old political party is founded on kidnapping. The old political party is founded on treason. The old political party does not stand for liberty and justice for all. system, and that ain't only in the hospital system, and that ain't only in the juvenile system, and that ain't only in the Department of Education, but that is also in the business system too as well. And we must address this issue on all aspects of humanity. If these are our streets, we must make a pact to never be divided again as one race. We are one people under God. And together we stand. Divided we will fall, man. I promise you. Divided we will fall. We fell before. We fell for the crooked trick before by our forefathers. And we will not fall for the crooked tricks anymore. The crooked tricks that they pull the hat out the bag, we're not falling for that no more. No more abracadabra. We won't fall for it again. We must stand together as one race under God. And we must hold tight, and we must stand strong, and we must not ever, ever again bow down. We are the people. We are the people. And we are out here standing against the fight against injustice. And as you witnessed, not everybody is standing for injustice. And it's crucial when the people that are supposed to be protecting and serving you is proving that they don't stand for justice. They stand for brutality. They stand for bigotry. They stand for genocide. They stand as if they got a paddle and they are Catholic teachers. We don't want that abuse. Equality on all aspects of human life. We want to not be racially profiled. We want to be at work. We want to hold that store to a standard to where they say, let's have a free day for the... And all the money they spend with us, let's have 2 free days a week from these rich ass stores. I mean, it needs to be some type of reparation. We need reparation all across the board. My race especially. We need a pandemic. We have been held under the coronavirus standards for decades. That is one of the demands. We got a whole lot of demands. I'm going to name one more. We want the felony to fall off. It has served its time. If an inmate has completed post-prison supervision, if an inmate has falsely been accused, we don't want that. After appeal, if they don't have no evidence to hold that inmate, let that inmate free. And he got way too much time than what the crime carries. Let my cousin free. My homeboy's son is locked up, and he got way too much time than what the crime carries. Let my homeboy's son free. I've done a whole school of prison time. I completed my prison time. I completed post-prison supervision. I completed every last drop. Let the fucking felony free. Yeah! Now let's get back on the business. Let's get back to the business and these rich corporations. And I'm going to let my boy tell you a little bit of something about them.
Make some noise if you understood what he said. Make some noise if you understood what he said.
We have the wall of vets coming in with the wall of moms.
And they just pushed a big story today. Let's go.
Thank you, gentlemen.
After a short time of being on campus, we all started working from home. So starting in March, everyone's perception of me was being Zoom. About 2 hours a week they interacted with me being Zoom. So we weren't in the office, everyone's perception of me was just being you may be working on Zoom. That's interesting. It took 2 more weeks of back and forth for Nike to finally put Black Lives Matter on their social platforms.
So the wall of moms went out and the wall of veterans are moving in.
There
This is the wall of vets.
I just interviewed the guy who was you saw BLM, and he had some valid points. So I like to get different people's point of view.
Can I take a picture of the side of your?
Oh yeah.
Like that Full Metal Jacket helmet look with Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I think my helmet is like famous.
Can I get your helmet?
Yeah.
What?
So punk rock?
I don't know what. Clamp off blood.
Well, it was just black, and then I got this will not comply sticker after my arrest.
Oh, nice. So is it true that they said that you're not supposed to be out here like once you got arrested?
No, it depends on what your paperwork says. I got no paperwork, so. But yeah, that's one of the stipulations they are putting on people who have been arrested.
If they saw you like throwing a bottle, not you, but if they saw somebody throwing a bottle and they arrested them, then they would say no.
Yeah, then they'd say you can't participate in protests within the city limits or whatever. Some of them they're putting actual hours, like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. You can't leave your house. So.
Wow.
Hey, you. How are you?
Stranger. I'm sorry, I didn't spit your coffee.
It's okay.
Oh well.
Better than tear gas, right?
I felt so weird last night. I got home, I didn't have to pull my mask off.
So the wall of vets are coming back this round.
My face was like, what is
You're
this?
like, wait, I'm not all gassy.
My face wasn't burning when I got home.
I didn't have to strip before I went to see my cats.
You guys get a bump right here when you wear your gas mask. I still had mine from the other day, but I still had
I got home and I was like, I don't have to strip before I go inside and see my cats. So this is weird.
Yeah, I don't have to take a shower right before I go to
Like
bed.
I'm used to like 3 layers just so that I can come back in and
So
see
you
the cats.
regas yourself when you get in the car?
Oh, dude. No, you get in one of those sneezing fits and all of a sudden you gas the shit out of yourself.
Yeah, I took a day off and I left my stuff in my car, and then when I put it back on, I had to sneeze.
Yeah, I've met you 100 times. Like from the very beginning. I just changed my, after I got pulled in by the feds, I changed my whole.
Ooh, literature.
Yeah,
Literature is actually very good.
thank you.
I love literature.
Somebody told me they're like, you're handing out too much for people to read, and I'm like, I don't know, I love it. They're like, you're a rare animal.
When the
And I'm like,
Snatch Band first came out, I had people print off color photos of all the bands.
You and I were gonna talk.
Okay. Well, that's all we need to take pictures of.
Refreshing. We were up on that corner a long time ago. There's so many people now. Oh yeah, no.
where do I go?
Yep.
And we're also part Wolfpack, all one word.
Excuse me, sir.
Or that, or is he gonna do this guy right here? I wish I could.
Do you just stream to one spot, or do you stream to multiple places?
I've tried restreaming to multiple places, and my video is super choppy. So I just, and also I feel like it's safer on Facebook because I am able to like block people, and I don't know if you can do that on YouTube. So It just is, I mean, it's been working, but I also have backup on other places in case I need
Yeah.
to have it. What about you? Do you
Well, right now I'm using Philip's, his multi-stream, but I don't know how to change, like, on when I was just streaming to 2 locations through my phone, then I could change, like, the brightness and stuff on it, you know, and, like, it's not letting me do it on this restream, so.
Is he using